Hello there! Have you ever felt like you don't even know why you wake up in the morning or why you go to work? Or have you caught yourself, again, forgetting to reply to a message from a friend or family member because you just didn't have the energy? Is your life feeling like a constant five-alarm fire and you don't see a way out? Well, if you're experiencing this, then you need to stay with me because you might be struggling with your mental health. Hello everyone, my name is Annie. I'm a psychologist, and once upon a time, a corporate professional navigating the fast-paced world of business, tight deadlines, and the pressure to perform. After struggling for several years with my own mental health, I decided to specialize in stress management and resilience. Now, I'm on a mission to help others navigate their tough times, just as I learned to navigate mine. Before we start talking about the actual signs, let's take a quick dive into neuroscience. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. Our brains are wired with two key systems, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is like your body's gas pedal. It triggers the fight, flight, or freeze response when you perceive a threat. In this mode, our brain prioritizes survival over everything else. It prepares the body to confront or flee from threats. Non-essential functions are suppressed. With the freeze response, you become immobilized, unable to act as a form of self-preservation. In these states, areas of the brain responsible for complex thought, creativity, and emotional regulation become less active. And some research even suggests that it almost disconnects the prefrontal cortex that is responsible for those executive functions. The parasympathetic nervous system is the brake pedal. It promotes rest and digest, helping your body to relax and recover, allowing for healing, digestion, and restoration of balance. When we're constantly stressed or anxious, our sympathetic nervous system stays activated. It's like having your foot stuck on the gas pedal. This chronic activation can lead to a host of problems because our brains aren't meant to function in survival mode all the time. It's exhausting and affects everything from our mood to our memory. Now, let's explore the 9 signs that you shouldn't ignore and why they can negatively impact your mental health. I'll provide multiple everyday life examples for each to help you recognize them in yourself or others. And at this point, let me add the disclaimer. This is not a checklist of symptoms. Mental health responses are different for most people. But if you feel a personality change and find yourself in one or more of these examples, I would highly recommend seeing a doctor. Sign number 1. Persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness. It's normal to feel down occasionally, but if you're experiencing sadness or hopelessness that lasts for weeks, it could be a sign of depression. For example, you wake up in the morning feeling heavy, and the thought of facing the day feels almost unbearable. Or you feel that even positive events don't lift your mood anymore. A promotion or a friend's wedding brings no joy, like it doesn't really matter. Or you find yourself thinking, what's the point? More often than not. Why is that bad? Prolonged sadness can alter neurotransmitter levels in your brain, affecting mood regulation. And don't compare yourself with others or dismiss this feeling because you've felt this way for years or even decades. Some situations trigger us more than others. Some are easier to handle than others, and we never know when the breaking point might come. It keeps your sympathetic nervous system engaged, preventing your body from resting. Accordingly, our resources to combat everyday problems vanish over time. It can lead to physical symptoms like fatigue and weakened immunity. Of course, those might be symptoms of a physical illness or thyroid problems. But if nothing seems to be wrong with your lab results, then it's most probably psychosomatic. Sign number 2. Loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. Do you find yourself skipping hobbies or activities that you used to love? Like your favorite band's new album is out, but you have no desire to listen. Or you used to love cooking, but now every meal feels like a chore, and you don't have the energy for cooking, so you rely on takeout and home delivery. Or your Sunday soccer games with friends no longer excite you. You make excuses to avoid going. Why is that bad? It can be a symptom of anhedonia, a condition characterized by an inability to experience pleasure, currently used by researchers to refer to reduced motivation, reduced anticipatory pleasure, wanting, reduced consumatory pleasure, liking, and deficits in reinforcement learning. Anhedonia is a common feature of depression. It signals a decrease in dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. Prolonged stress increases cortisol, which can interfere with dopamine production and receptor sensitivity. This might be a sign of dopamine deficiency. Lack of enjoyment can deepen feelings of isolation and despair, which can increase your anxiety or depression. Sign number 3, changes in appetite or weight. Significant weight loss or gain without trying can be a red flag. For example, you realize it's 4 p.m. and you haven't eaten anything all day, not because you're busy, but because you're not hungry. Or you find comfort in food, polishing off a whole bag of chips without noticing. When you notice that your clothes do not fit the same way they did a couple of weeks ago, and you did nothing intentionally for it, it should be an alarm for you. Or you just feel so exhausted all the time that you need this chocolate in order to push yourself to survive the day. Why is that bad? Stress hormones like cortisol can disrupt hunger signals, and this can go both ways. Some eating disorders are linked to our emotional state. For example, binge eating disorder, when you eat a burger after you ate the full bag of chips and then continue with the M&Ms, ignoring the fact that you're already full or not even recognizing your full stomach anymore. This is linked to emotional eating when we try to calm ourselves with the dopamine kicks after we eat. It can lead to nutritional deficiencies, impacting brain function. Recent research shows the clear connection between our gut bacteria and our brain. It does matter if we eat too little and our good bacteria starve, or we eat too much junk and our bad bacteria multiply. There are also some microbiomes that are directly linked to our mood. Sign number 4, sleep disturbances. Are you tossing and turning at night or sleeping more than usual? You know the feeling, lying awake with racing thoughts. You watch the hours tick by on the clock? Or you wake up multiple times during the night, unable to fall back asleep? Or do you even sleep 10, 12 hours and still feel exhausted, hitting the snooze button repeatedly? Some people feel that during the day, they don't get affected by the stress of their life, but at night, they dream about the problem and wake up with nightmares. Why is that bad? Sleep is essential for brain health. It's when your brain processes the day's events. It's the time our body needs to rest, to digest, and to detox. A good and restorative sleep is a combination of REM sleep and deep sleep phases. Both are affected if we experience more stress than we can handle. Lack of sleep increases sympathetic nervous system activity, keeping you in fight or flight mode. Increased cortisol levels are a common sleep disturber. Oversleeping can be a sign of the body trying to escape stress. Sign number 5, increased irritability or anger. Do small things set you off more than they used to? You snap at a barista for getting your coffee order slightly wrong? Traffic delays make you disproportionately angry, leading to road rage? A colleague's harmless comment feels like a personal attack, and you react defensively? Or maybe you are raising your voice to your children and realize that you overreacted. Or that thing your spouse forgot to buy from the supermarket makes you sad and angry, and you feel like this is a clear sign your spouse wants a divorce. Why is that bad? Chronic stress can lower serotonin levels, increasing irritability. Being in a constant state of agitation keeps the sympathetic nervous system active. It strains relationships and creates a cycle of stress. Your stress makes you react in ways you didn't intend, leading to self-criticism and guilt. This negative self-talk increases your stress, creating an additional problem to deal with. Sign number 6, social withdrawal. Are you avoiding friends and family because you just don't have the energy? Ignoring calls and texts, you let your phone go to voicemail even when you have time to talk. You decline invitations to social events, preferring to stay home doing nothing. You sit in your room while family members are gathered in the living room, avoiding interaction. Or you are on your phone all the time, again, avoiding interaction. You don't have time to go to lunch with colleagues and prefer to eat a fast sandwich at your desk, alone. Why is that bad? Loneliness and social withdrawal are not just emotional experiences. They can have profound impacts on both mental and physical health. Research has found that social withdrawal can be a significant factor in developing depression or increasing anxiety. It is also associated with cognitive decline, increasing the risk of dementia. The list is long, but I will focus on that in a special dedicated video. Social support is crucial for activating the parasympathetic nervous system. Positive social interactions increase levels of dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters associated with happiness and well-being. With social connections, our brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It promotes feelings of trust, empathy, belonging, and connection. Oxytocin reduces anxiety by inhibiting the amygdala, the brain's fear center. Research shows that loneliness affects the same areas of the brain as physical pain. Sign number 7, physical symptoms without clear cause. Unexplained headaches, stomach issues, or muscle tension can be signs of mental stress manifesting physically, like persistent back or neck pain without any physical injury, or frequent tension headaches that painkillers don't alleviate, upset stomach or nausea before work or social events. Sometimes you just feel an increased heart rate, or your fitness watch shows a heart rate like you are on the treadmill when you are in a meeting with that boss you hate, or you feel dizziness, even tinnitus. Why is that bad? Chronic activation of the sympathetic nervous system can cause muscle tension and pain. Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, posits that emotions like anger, joy, worry, grief, and fear correspond to specific organs, such as the liver, heart, spleen, lungs, and kidneys, and that imbalances in these emotions can lead to illness. Stress can disrupt digestive functions, leading to gastrointestinal issues, as briefly described in sign number 3, changes in appetite and weight. Ignoring these symptoms can lead to more serious health problems. Sign number 8, problems with memory, concentration, or decision-making. Do you find it hard to focus, remember details, or make decisions? You walk into a room and forget why you went there in the first place? Feeling paralyzed when choosing between simple options, like what to wear or eat? Struggling to follow a conversation or losing track midway through reading a page? Why is that bad? Stress hormones like cortisol can impair the hippocampus, affecting memory. Furthermore, chronic stress and increased cortisol typically affect our sleep, leading to less restorative rest and further impacting our cognitive functions. The prefrontal cortex, which handles decision-making and concentration, doesn't function well under stress. It might be a sign of dopamine deficiency. Dopamine plays a key role in regulating movement, motivation, emotional responses, and the brain's reward and pleasure centers. When dopamine levels are insufficient, it can lead to a range of physical and psychological symptoms, such as fatigue, mood swings, decreased motivation, difficulty concentrating, and impaired motor control. This deficiency is associated with various medical conditions, including Parkinson's disease, depression, and other mood disorders. Sign number 9, decreased interest in sexual activities. Have you noticed a drop in your desire for intimacy? You avoid physical affection with your partner, feeling disconnected or uninterested. Eventually, you even get angry because your partner doesn't seem to understand that you just don't want to. It doesn't have anything to do with you having an affair or that you don't find your partner attractive anymore. You find that thoughts about intimacy rarely, if ever, cross your mind anymore. You don't even think about masturbation. Sexual activities feel more like an obligation than a pleasure. Why is that bad? Sexual health is a part of overall well-being and helps regulate your hormones. The sympathetic nervous system suppresses non-essential functions, including sexual desire, when in survival mode. But sex can help your nervous system to calm down and your body to produce oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Lack of sex can severely harm relationships or further decrease self-esteem if only one party doesn't want. Understanding this can help you realize that a decreased interest in sex isn't a personal failing or a reflection of your relationship. It's a physiological response to stress. Why ignoring these signs is dangerous. Ignoring these signs doesn't make them go away. It allows them to grow stronger. Chronic stress can lead to heart disease, diabetes, and a weakened immune system. Untreated symptoms can develop into severe disorders that are harder to treat. By paying attention to these signs and understanding their root causes, you can take steps toward healing and prevent more serious issues down the line. I invite each of you to make well-being your superpower. Imagine a world where mental health is prioritized, where individuals thrive, and organizations flourish because they've embraced the full potential of their people. If you find this video interesting and want to delve deeper into mental health insights, subscribe Unstress Me and click on the like button so that I can keep making these videos. Each episode is crafted to provide practical tips or inspiring stories designed to help you cultivate your mental wellness superpower. Join us as we explore transformative ways to enhance both individual and collective well-being. No matter what your mental health looks like, you are not